The cafeteria on Station Vex 9 was supposed to be neutral ground. Supposed to be. That was the whole point of these diplomatic hubs, right? A place where every species could coexist, trade, negotiate, and not rip each other's throats out over territorial disputes or ancient grudges. But apparently nobody told Kravit that stealing food was a bad idea. I watched the whole thing go down from my usual spot near the waste recyclers. I know, glamorous seating choice, but when you're a Quailon with 4 eye stalks, you learn pretty quick that most species get uncomfortable when you stare at them while they eat. So waste recycler section it is. At least the view was good. I could see the entire dining area from here, all 7 levels of it, with species from dozens of worlds grabbing their meals and trying not to start interstellar incidents. Kravit was a Thraxian, the guy really big, about 8 feet tall when he stood at full height, which he rarely did because doorways were not exactly built for his kind. He had that classic predator build, on muscle and sharp edges, with scales that shimmered between dark green and black depending on the lighting. His species came from a death world, one of those nightmare planets where everything wants to kill you, including the plants. Thraxians were proud of that fact, way too proud if you ask me. The human girl, on the other hand, was tiny, maybe 5'3", 5'4". Hard to tell with humans. They all look kind of the same height until you put them next to each other. She had dark brown hair pulled back in one of those complicated knots human females seem to love, and she wore the standard civilian jumpsuit that most station residents preferred. Nothing special, nothing threatening, just another human trying to grab lunch during the midday rush. Her name was Maya Torres. I knew that because she came to the cafeteria every day at exactly 1200 hours, ordered the same thing every time, some kind of protein bowl with extra vegetables, and sat at the same table by the viewport overlooking the docking bay. Creatures of habit, humans, very predictable, which made them easy to observe, and I observed everything. It was kind of my job, being a station reporter and all. So there I was, munching on my nutrient paste, which tasted exactly as exciting as it sounds, when Kravit made his move. The cafeteria was packed, standing room only, with the lunch crowd in full swing. The noise level was intense, a mixture of chirping, growling, buzzing, and actual spoken language, all blending into one chaotic symphony. Perfect cover for a quick snatch. And Mai had just received her order from the automated dispenser. Steam was still rising from the bowl. She turned, scanning for her usual table, and that was when Kravit struck. One moment the bowl was in her hands, the next it was not. He moved fast for something so big, his clawed hand shooting out and snatching the container right from her grasp before she could even process what was happening. The look on her face, priceless. Pure confusion mixed with disbelief, like her brain was refusing to accept the reality of what just occurred. Her mouth opened slightly. Her eyes tracked the bowl as Kravit pulled it close to his chest, already turning away to make his escape through the crowd. Now here's the thing about Thraxians. They have this cultural concept they're really attached to. They call it the supremacy of strength. Basically, if you can take it, it's yours. Might makes right. The strong eat first, the weak get leftovers. It's a whole philosophy that governs their entire society, and most of the galaxy just kind of tolerate it because Thraxians are useful allies in a fight. Nobody wants to deal with the political headache of telling them their entire worldview is garbage. But humans? Humans did not get that memo. Or maybe they did and they just did not care. Hard to tell with them sometime. I leaned forward, all 4 eye stalks focused on what was about to happen. This was going to be good. I could feel it, that tingle you get when you know you're about to witness something worth talking about later. Mai stood frozen for exactly 2.3 seconds. I counted. Then her expression changed. The confusion melted away, replaced by something else, something colder. Her jaw set, her eyes narrowed, her whole body language shifted from confused civilian to something that made my survival instinct start screaming warnings.
Kravitz was already 20 feet away, weaving through the crowd with surprising agility for someone his size. He was grinning, showing off those rows of serrated teeth Thraxians are so proud of. Probably thought he'd just scored an easy meal and established dominance in one smooth move. Probably already planning how he would brag about this to his clutchmates later. He didn't see Mai start moving. She didn't run, didn't shout out, didn't make any of the dramatic gestures you might expect. She just walked, fast and purposeful, her eyes locked on Craddock like a targeting system. The crowd parted for her without really knowing why, that instinctive response prey species have when a predator is on the move. Except Mai was not supposed to be the predator. Humans were Category 3 on the threat assessment scale, moderately dangerous if cornered, the generally peaceful, that was what the official classification said. Thraxians were Category 7, extremely dangerous, approach with caution. I guess nobody updated those files recently. Kravitz made it to the exit corridor, still chuckling to himself. That was when Mai caught up. She didn't tap his shoulder politely, didn't call out his name. She just reached up, grabbed one of his dorsal spines, the ones that ran down his back like a jagged mountain range, and yanked hard. Kravitz spun around, more surprised than hurt. His eyes went wide, pupils contracting to slits. He looked down at this tiny human who barely came up to his chest, and you could see his brain trying to process the situation. This was not how things were supposed to work. Small species did not challenge large species. Prey did not confront predators. That was like Rule 1 of Galactic society. Mai held out her hand, palm up. "Give it back," she said. Her voice was calm, eerily calm, the kind of calm that made my scales itch. Kravitz stared at her, then he laughed. It was a deep rumbling sound that resonated through his chest cavity, the kind of laugh designed to intimidate and establish superiority. "Foolish little human," he growled, his translator chip rendering his native language in something we could all understand. "You dare challenge me? I am Craddock, third son of the Northern Peaks Clutch. I have hunted crystal serpents in the frozen wastes. I have claimed my kills from the jaws of greater predators, and you think I will surrender my prize to you?" "It is not your prize," Mai said flatly. "It is my lunch, and you have exactly 3 seconds to return it, or we are going to have a problem." The entire cafeteria had gone quiet now. Every eye, sensory organ, and consciousness probe was locked on this confrontation. You could have heard a dust particle hit the floor. This was the kind of moment that defined careers for us reporters, the kind of incident that would be discussed in diplomatic circles for cycles to come. Kravitz's expression shifted from amused to annoyed. "You threaten me? Me? Do you know what I could do to you, fragile thing? I could tear you apart with one hand. I could crush your bones to powder. Your species is soft, weak. You have no claws, no fangs, no natural weapons. What makes you think you can demand anything from me?" Mai's expression did not change. "One," she said. Kravitz laughed again, but it sounded forced this time, less confident. "Your species amuses me with its arrogance. You humans strut around the galaxy like you own it, but you are nothing, mere another prey species pretending to be important." 2. Mai continued. "I will not warn you again, human. Walk away now, and I will forget this insult. Continue, and I will teach you the lesson your kind should have learned long ago. The strong take what they want, the weak submit. This is the natural order." Mai tilted her head slightly. 3. What happened next took approximately 8 seconds. I know because I reviewed the security footage 17 times afterwards, and I'm still not sure I believe it. Mai moved, not in the way most species move when they're about to fight. No threatening gestures, no warning displays, no puffing up to look bigger. She just moved, fast and efficient, like she had done this exact sequence 1,000 times before. Her right foot swept behind Kravitz's leading leg. Her left hand grabbed his arm, the one holding the food container. Her right hand went to his shoulder. Then physics took over. Kravit, all 8 feet and 400 pounds of apex predator, went down. Hard. The crash when he hit the deck sounded like someone dropped a small shuttle. The bowl went flying. Mai caught it mid-air without looking, her hands snapping out and snatching it like it was the easiest thing in the world. Kravit was still processing the fact that he was suddenly staring at the ceiling instead of standing upright, but Mai was not done. Before he could recover, she dropped down, one knee pressing into his chest, her free hand grabbing one of his dorsal spines and twisting it at an angle that made even I wince. Thraxian anatomy puts a lot of nerve clusters in those spines. Control the spines, control the Thraxian. It's basic biology. Kravit roared, the sound of rage and pain and confusion all mixed together.
So either you are exceptional among your kind, or our classifications are dangerously wrong. She was quiet for a moment, studying me. Then she smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was the kind of smile that said she had just decided something, and I probably was not going to like it. You really want to know the truth about humans? Fine. But you might want to sit down for this, and maybe record it since you are going to want to share this with your readers. I activated my recording device and settled onto my haunches. I am ready. Okay, so here's the thing, Maya began, leaning against one of the hydroponic tables. Huns have been part of the galactic community for 30 years now? And in that time, we have been very careful about how we present ourselves. Very careful. Because we learned a long time ago that when you are the new species on the block, you do not want to come across as threatening. You smile, you cooperate, you follow the rules, you let everyone think you are harmless. It makes diplomacy easy. That you are not harmless, I said. No, she agreed. We are absolutely not harmless. Earth is a Category 9 death world. That part is in the public records, but I don't think most species really understand what that means. Let me explain it to you. On Earth, almost everything is trying to kill you. The animals, the weather, the plants, even the microscopic organisms. We have predators that hunt in packs. We have predators that hunt alone. We have predators that can smell you from miles away, track you for days, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. She picked up one of the plants she had been studying but had thorns that looked sharp enough to puncture hull plating. Sir, this is a modified Venus flytrap from Earth. Beautiful, right? It eats meat. It's a plant that evolved to trap and digest insects, and that is considered cute where I come from. We have plants that can kill elephants. We have plants that cause pain so intense that people have literally thrown themselves off cliffs to escape it. I felt my scales starting to itch again. That sounds unpleasant. Oh, it gets better, Maya continued, warming to our subject. So humans evolved in this nightmare. We started out as these weak, fragile primates that should have been easy prey for everything bigger than us. And there was a lot bigger than us. So we developed something that most predators do not have. We got creative. We learned to use tools. We learned to work together. We learned to think several steps ahead of our prey and our predators. She set the plant down carefully. But here's the really scary part. We learned to outlast everything. See, humans have this thing called persistence hunting. We cannot outrun most animals. We cannot outfight them in a straight confrontation. But we can chase them until they collapse from exhaustion. We can track them for days, weeks even, following their trail, never giving up, never stopping. We're like a biological horror movie monster, slow but inevitable. And eventually our prey realizes they cannot escape, and they just give up. That is disturbing, I said honestly. Yeah, it kind of is, Maya agreed. And that is just our physical capabilities. Mentally, humans are even more dangerous. We are pattern recognition machines. We see connections between things that other species miss. We solve problems in ways that do not make sense to anyone else. We have this almost pathological need to understand how things work, to take them apart, to figure out the rules, and then find ways to break them. She walked over to another section of the hydroponics bay, and I followed, my recording device capturing every word. When humans joined the galactic community, we saw all these different species, all these different techniques, all these different ways of thinking, and we absorbed it all. We learned everything we could. We studied every species' strengths and weaknesses, not because we were planning to attack anyone, but because that's what we do.
We learn, we adapt, we prepare. So the diplomatic facade, I said slowly, was an intentional misdirection? Not exactly, Maya corrected. We genuinely want to be peaceful. We have learned from our history that conflict is expensive and destructive, but we also know that the galaxy is dangerous, so we prepared. Every human in the civilian sectors, we are all trained in basic combat. Every single one of us. It is mandatory education, like medics or language. We learn to fight before we leave Earth. We learn to protect ourselves and others, because we refuse to be victims, ever again. Ever again? I repeated. What do you mean? Maya's expression darkened. Before we found out we were not alone in the universe, we spent thousands of years fighting each other, humans versus humans, wars that killed millions, weapons that could destroy entire cities in seconds. We nearly wiped ourselves out 6 times. And when we finally figured out how to stop killing each other, when we finally achieved something resembling peace on our own world, we made a collective decision. Never again would we be unprepared. Never again would we be weak. She looked directly at me, and I felt all 4 of my eyes shrunk to look away. So yes, every human knows how to fight. The botanists, the engineers, the teachers, the artists. Everyone. We train from childhood. We maintain those skills throughout our lives. And we hide it because we do not want to scare people. We wanted to be friends with the galaxy, not conquerors. But if someone pushes us, if someone threatens us, or takes what is ours, we push back hard. I was silent for a moment, processing this information. How many other species know about this? Officially, just the high-level diplomatic corps of a few major governments, Maya said. Unofficially, I'm guessing after today, a lot more people are going to start asking questions. Kravik certainly is going to spread the word among Thretsians, and your article is going to reach who knows how many species. The secret is out, basically. Are you concerned about that? I asked. About the political ramifications? Maya shrugged. No, not really. Honestly, it might be better this way. We've been walking on eggshells for 3 decades, trying not to offend anyone, trying not to seem threatening. Maybe it's time the galaxy knows what we are actually capable of. Maybe that will make certain species think twice before trying to push humans around, like Kravik learned today. Speaking of Kravik, I said, I heard he went to the medical bay after the incident. Nothing serious, just some bruised pride and a sprained wrist spine. But he also made a formal declaration in the Thretsian cultural database. He declared you a worthy opponent and issued what translates to a challenge of honor. He wants a rematch in 3 days in the station combat arena, following traditional Thretsian rules. Maya raised her eyebrows. Seriously? Over a lunch bowl? Thretsians take matters of honor very seriously, I explained. You defeated him publicly. In their culture, that creates a debt that can only be resolved through formal combat. If he defeats you in sanctioned combat, his honor is restored. If you defeat him again, he becomes your bond warrior, sworn to your service. That is the weirdest thing I've heard all day, Maya said, and I spent the morning studying carnivorous plants. Will you accept? I asked. She thought about it for a moment. I don't really have a choice, do I? If I refuse, it will be seen as an insult, and that could cause diplomatic problems for humans on the station. Plus, Kravik wasn't really a bad guy, just an idiot who thought he could bully someone smaller. Maybe a proper fight will teach him something useful. You are taking this very calmly, I observed. Well, I'm a human, Maya said with another one of those unsettling smiles. We thrive on chaos. It's kind of our thing. Besides, it's been a while since I had a good workout. Might be fun. She thought fighting an apex predator in ritual combat might be fun. I was beginning to understand why humans made everyone nervous. Over the next 3 days, the station transformed. What started as a simple food theft incident became the most anticipated event in Vexian history. The combat arena, which usually hosted sporting events and cultural demonstrations, was booked solid. Tickets sold out in minutes. Species from all over the sector started arriving, wanting to witness this unprecedented matchup. Human versus Thretsian, Category 3 versus Category 7, the plant researcher versus the warrior. The betting pools reached astronomical levels. Most species were putting their credits on Kravik. He was bigger, stronger, more experienced in formal combat, and this time he would be prepared for human tactics. Maya was the underdog by a significant margin, which only made the humans on station bet harder on her. They knew something everyone else was about to learn. I managed to get press credentials for a front row position, best seat in the house, right next to the combat floor. The arena was packed, every seat filled with species I had never seen on the station before. The energy in the room was electric, everyone talking at once, sharing theories and predictions. Kravik entered first. He was decked out in traditional Thretsian combat gear, which was not much, just ceremonial bands around his arms and legs, and a chest plate that looked more decorative than protective. He raised his arms to the crowd, and half the arena roared approval. He looked confident, ready, focused. This was his chance at redemption. Then Maya entered, and the other half of the arena erupted. She wore simple combat attire, fitted pants, and a sleeveless shirt that allowed full range of movement. No armor, no weapons. just her and whatever skills she had been hiding. She looked tiny compared to Gravik, like a child standing next to an adult, but she moved with that same purposeful confidence I had seen in the cafeteria. The arena master, a massive coffin with 4 arms and a voice like grinding metal, called for silence. Combat will proceed under traditional Thretsian rules, he announced. No weapons, no outside interference. Victory is achieved through submission, unconsciousness, or death. Do both combatants accept these terms? Accepted, Gravik growled. Accepted, Maya said calmly. Then let honor be satisfied, the arena master declared, and stepped back. For a moment, nothing happened. Gravik and Maya circled each other, each studying the other, looking for openings. The crowd held its collective breath. Gravik moved first, lunging forward with frightening speed, but Maya was not there anymore. She had moved sideways, her footwork impossibly quick. Gravik adjusted, swiping with one clawed hand. Maya ducked under it, stepped inside his reach, and drove her elbow into his ribs. The impact sounded like someone hitting a drum. Gravik grunted but did not slow down. He brought his other hand around in a backhand strike that should have sent Maya flying. Should have. Maya sighed coming, dropped into a crouch, and swept his leg again. This time Gravik was ready. He shifted his weight, staying upright, and brought his knee up toward Maya's head. She rolled backward, came up in a row-ready stance, and smote. The crowd was going absolutely insane. This was not the quick takedown from the cafeteria. This was an actual fight between trained combatants, and it was beautiful in a terrifying way. They engaged again. Punch, block, counter, dodge. Gravik had size and strength. Maya had speed and precision. Every time Gravik thought he had her cornered, she would slim away, landing quick strikes to vulnerable points. Every time Maya tried to grapple, Gravik would use his superior mass to break free. It was a stalemate, both fighters testing each other, learning patterns, adapting strategies. 5 minutes in, both were showing signs of fatigue. Gravik was breathing hard, the scales glistening with exertion. Maya had a cut above her eye from a near miss that had grazed her, and she was favoring her left side slightly.